All right, I'm here with David Azizi from the law offices of David Azizi, and we're going to discuss something that's very important, especially when it comes to personal injury accidents and just accidents in general, and that's the spinal cord. And I think most people grew up understanding that the spinal cord has a direct connection to the brain, and you never want to do something with the spinal cord as far as moving it the wrong way or something like that. But it's a little different with a personal injury case because you don't really know the ramifications of the injury up front because it could happen later. So David, explain exactly why it takes a little longer with a spinal cord injury to understand the true personal injury.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that issue up. In my experience, most accidents that we deal with on a daily basis, majority of them involve the spinal cord. If you're in a car, you get rear-ended, side-broaded, it's basically either the low back, the thoracic, or the cervical. And most people may be watching this may say, well, have some idea what the cervical is. The cervical is the disc further up towards your neck area. The thoracic, it's the middle of your back. The lumbar is your lower part closer to your belt line, a little bit above that. They all have numbers. They go from C, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, and then the thoracic, and then the lumbar, and so forth. So majority of the injuries, unfortunately, where people are involved, even slip and falls or trip and falls, because you're putting it's a sudden force on the neck disc, or sudden force on the low back case if you're getting broadsided, or if you slip and fall, you hit the ground, your neck and body is suddenly being jolted and moved around. And in these particular cases, what happens is people will start feeling pain. And initially, like, okay, well, is this pain going to go away or not? And I've had clients come to me a month later, and they're like, when this accident happened, I just figured, okay, well, it's just some aches and pains, stiffness, and give it some time. Like when you play some sports, you're not in shape, and you start the next day having all the stiffness. So they're like, okay, well, I give it about a week and notice that it's not getting better. 2 weeks went by, I didn't get it. Then I started looking to find out what I could do. I tried to contact the insurance company. They kind of give me the runaround. And it's about a month later or so when they're like, okay, I need to get a lawyer. And that's when I get a call. Once we get a call, we send them to the specialists, to the doctors who can then start treating them. In our field, we go from the conservative treatment to the most invasive. Sometimes in certain cases, it's right off the bat obvious that this person sustained a severe injury to the spinal cord. Those are obvious. In some cases, like I was telling you, car accidents, slip and falls, the person has pain. And sometimes it goes away with the conservative treatment such as chiropractic care, physical therapy, acupuncture, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's where then you undergo an MRI. An MRI can tell whether there's a disc bulge, herniation, all the other reasons or symptoms that would cause a spinal cord injury or provide a reason why you're having this spinal cord injury. And thereafter, you go through the next conservative treatment, which is if you need to, you have epidural injections to see if those help. If that doesn't help, then unfortunately sometimes it's surgery. But to answer your question, yes, it does take a progression of time for you to go through the least conservative measures and then get more invasive as you go on to determine if it's something simple or it requires surgery.
And you bring up a great point. Being a former athlete, I think that pain's going to go away. A lot of times it's like, I think, if anything happens to me, and I've been in car accidents, I've been in, falling out of trees and stuff, and especially a man, you want to think, oh, my body can improve and it's going to get better, but sometimes you need to get medical help and you need to seek a personal injury lawyer. So the phone number for the law offices of David Azizi will be above in the YouTube video and below in the YouTube information. And if you do have that personal injury, especially if the spinal cord is involved, contact someone and get medical help. Thank you very much for your time, David.
All right, thank you.